Whew. Full night. Got done with about a 4.5-hour Zoom with a gentleman who was well on his way, and he had some great advice for me. We shared a lot. And then shot over to my first, what they have in addition to the one-on-one lessons, which is where you get good, are these dance parties. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. All the students come and all the instructors that are available are there, and then they play like 30 songs and you just run through all these different styles and techniques, and they teach new ones. And so tonight we covered salsa, of course, bachata, the rumba, tango, waltz, the foxtrot, shit, what's the one John Travolta does in The Hustle, and then merengue, which is just really like standing like a drunk person, just chopping your feet. But it was as awkward as you can imagine. It's like standing at a wedding and you have no date, and you really weren't invited to the wedding either. No, but the instructors are bomb, and they trade off, and they all have different flares, and they're adding in extra stuff. So it's going well. And then really one of the highlights, I'm coming out, and a girl's coming out of, she looks like a teenage girl coming out of the Taekwondo center here, and she's got a dad behind her, and I was like looking, and it's like a black brown belt. And I'm like, what belt are you? And she's like, it's kind of complicated. And I'm like, and she's like, I'm new here. It's just my day. And I was like, oh, so how long have you been going? She's like, 10 years. I'm like, wait, how old are you? She's like, I'm 16. I'm like, so you started when you were 6? And her dad's like, yeah, she's a natural, and I got history with it. And I'm like, what's your history with it? This dude's just humongous, tall, commanding presence, and he's limping a little bit. So, and I could tell he had stories. The dude had stories. He had scars. He had life. So I'm like, what's your deal? And he ends up going, he's in a special ops a special ops unit of the CIA, and it's not secret. He's like, you can Google this. And he's a trained sniper. He was back when martial arts was first introduced to the LA Police Academy, and he was trained in all these things. In his first mission, he like rescued these 15 kids and got shot twice, and showed me he had a bullet lodged in his jaw. The dude was walking me through. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, you need to write a book. He's like, that's what they say. And I'm like, so I'm going to be coming here like 3-4 nights a week. Are you guys doing that? He's like, I'm going to be here with her. She's taken up, you know, she's trained with Ronda Rousey because that was their neighbor. And so this little 16-year-old's training with like a UFC badass, and she's just a savage waiting patiently for her dad to get done telling war stories. And I was just enthralled with this whole thing. And he pulls out, he's like getting in his wallet, pulls out this laminated card that gives him access to the White House anytime he wants. Like, this guy is like, he was beaming to share some of these stories with what he could share. And then I was like, I caught his name on the card, and I said, well, I'm like, I'm gonna let you go because I think your daughter is hungry, whatever. I'll see you here because I'm dancing. He's like, what, so you're a dancer? I'm like, nah, I'm a former pro athlete, and I'm taking dance lessons because I just never done it, and I don't know what I'm doing, and it's difficult, and I want to do something really difficult. And he's like, well, dancing's fantastic. It's really great, and some of the best trainers and martial artists it's dance. And I was like, well, yeah, that's why I do performance training and rehab. And so this was something. He's like, what's the name? And I said, Tommy John. He's like, but you're not I'm like, no, that's my dad. And he's like, you gotta be kidding me. And so we ended up sitting out having a conversation for about 30 minutes with this gentleman all around the Mecca that is the dance studio, that is this new place in my life. So things are shaking up, and I will be bumping into Tiny Tim Shannon was his name, and learning more. I could have asked this guy questions all night long. Anyway, life out and about, go mix it up, doing something as uncomfortable as you can get. I mean, that feeling of standing in the middle of a room and you don't have a dance partner and you don't know what the next song is, and it's like, all right, and it's in the middle of your chest and you're like, fuck, and it's holy shit, and then you pick up and somebody grabs you and you learn something and you ask and you go and you meet someone new and you end up, you know, the flood of the ripple, the butterfly effect of what life offers when you take action. You just take a step forward and a step side, cha-cha-cha, and a step back, slide, and a step forward, and a rumba, and Anyway, if you're on the fence about doing the difficult thing, do the difficult thing. And had another aha moment before the Zoom. I will be going in and doing some other work where I'm connecting the dots with some things and challenging my nervous system at the same time with bringing other things in. But this was fantastic. So, dance party number 2, Friday night, 6:45. Yep. Go do the hard thing.